In this 5-minute audit, I am going to show you how to look at your existing content that contains story and figure out what crucial pieces are missing. The crucial pieces that build connection, that create that trust, and that lead to conversions, aka sales. Because that is the power of storytelling, my friend. Being able to create these genuine type of pieces of content, whether that's social media, YouTube video, a blog, an email, and make money from it. Because nothing feels better than showing up authentically online as your true self, sharing your story, and getting paid for it. These 5 questions I'm going to walk you through are going to be a 5-minute audit that you can repeat until you find exactly what is missing from your current content strategy. Well, hey there, I'm Michelle Knight, brand strategist, and more importantly, I am a storytelling expert, and I am here to help you share your authentic stories online so you can get paid, baby. So you can get paid to be exactly who you are. As a business owner of almost a decade now, I can tell you that my favorite type of marketing is storytelling marketing. There's just something really special about storytelling content. And I have a lot of previous videos where I talk about the importance of that. That's not what this video is about. But if you're new here and you stumbled upon this video, you found it in your YouTube search, then go back and watch some of those videos to really understand why storytelling is so crucial and why we are going to be seeing a increase and a demand for it as we head into 2026 and beyond. But today I promised you a 5-minute audit, and so I'm going to do my very best to keep this short. It is something I struggle with. And so in order to do that, the first thing I want you to do is either grab pen or paper, or if you have an existing piece of content that you have created, go ahead and pull that up now. Now, what prompted me to create this video is actually that I just got off a call with one of my clients inside of the Authentic Brand Builders Academy. And we were talking about an upcoming launch that she is planning for. Now, she already has a very large audience and she has been launching successfully for quite some time, but there is always room for some improvement. And one of my favorite things to do is to show entrepreneurs how they can use the power of storytelling to increase their conversions, aka their sales. And so we were talking about how to do this with her own existing strategies and her existing content. And I thought, why don't I just share this with you as well? So welcome to the channel, because this is what we do here. Okay, so here's how this works. Again, I highly recommend that you find a piece of content that you have recently created. Could be a social media post, an email, a YouTube video, a blog post, literally any piece of content will do. I don't care where you market. Storytelling is important for all platforms. And I'm going to give you 5 questions. We're going to walk through each of these 5 questions, and you're going to realize that you most likely are missing 1 or 2 of these really crucial pieces of conversion storytelling. And that's exactly why your storytelling content might be getting engagement, because we know storytelling content does way better online, but you might be getting that engagement and not necessarily the conversions that you desire. Question number 1. Does this make my audience see themselves? Notice, I did not say, does this talk about my audience? I asked, does this make them see themselves? Because when someone reads your story, are they thinking, oh, that's nice for her? Or are they thinking, wait, that's me. Wait, that's what I want. Wait, that's what I'm struggling with. Because even though the story might be about you and your experiences, it needs to be shining a light back on your ideal customer. That's the difference between a story that connects and a story that converts. Let me give you an example. If I said something along the lines of, I wanted to create more freedom in my business, that's really generic. A million people have said it. It doesn't allow my audience to go, oh, me too. It gives off that, oh, that's nice for her vibe. But if I paint a very vivid picture with my story, then I say I was sitting at my cubicle, staring at the clock, knowing that my son was at home without me, and thinking deep down that I was sacrificing my precious time with him for a pay. Now, you, the reader, can see that. You can feel that. There is more opportunity for you to create connection with the vivid picture that I am creating with my story. So look at your content. Are you being specific enough? Because the specificity and the details are what allow someone to see themselves in your story. Or is your story very general, which just allows them to keep scrolling? If they're not seeing themselves, then they are missing the connection. And without the connection, there is no conversion. So make a mark if you need to tighten this piece up. Okay, question number 2. Am I showing struggle or just the success? Listen, After creating so much content and working with thousands of entrepreneurs, I can tell you that people don't trust the highlight reel. They trust the person who admits it was messy. Now, there's a balance between this because there absolutely is the aspirational branding piece of storytelling, connecting with what your ideal customer wants and what they're working towards that you can help them achieve. But we cannot forget the messy pieces as well. And this was such an aha for me a couple years ago when I created an ebook on the top lessons that I had learned as an entrepreneur. And it still to this day has been one of my highest converting free gifts that I have ever created. And it was literally just a bunch of mistakes that I had made and what I learned from them. People love this type of content because they don't want to feel like they are alone. They also want the outcome to feel attainable for them. Maybe not realistic with where they are right now, but attainable. They believe that they can have that success as well. If your content is all, look at my amazing life, look at what I've built, everything is perfect, people might follow you for the inspiration, but they won't trust you enough to actually work with. The vulnerability is what everyone is craving online in today's digital age, and it is something we have an opportunity to create and connect with our audience when it comes to storytelling. Remember, your ideal customer is living in the gap or the messy middle, as I like to call it. And if you skip over that part of your story, you might actually lose them. So look at your content. Are you doing a great job of balancing and also sharing the struggle, the doubt, the moments where you didn't know if it would work? Or are you only showing success after success after success with no proof of what it took to get there? At your core, when it comes to storytelling, your audience really needs to know that it's possible for them. They want to know that you have been where they are, or you understand at the very least what they are going through. And I think a lot of people have pulled away from this struggle or pain point type of marketing because if you're not using it in storytelling, it feels icky, and it is icky. If we're just constantly talking about the pain that our audience is feeling, that's not a great approach to marketing. But when you do it from a storytelling angle where you are sharing your own experiences, it allows you to touch on the pain points. It allows you to touch on the struggle without it feeling like you are just attacking your ideal customer. You're sharing it from a very genuine place, which is going to be received more beautifully from your ideal customer as they are reading your content. So be honest with yourself. Are you showing the struggle, or are you just skipping straight to the success? Question number 3, is there a clear transformation? Now, this particular one I could go on and on and on about because this is such a fundamental piece of storytelling and why storytelling works so freaking well. Because at the end of the day, all brands are solving a problem. All brands are showing some sort of transformation, getting from here to here. And yes, that is true for product-based businesses as well, because I know some of you are going to wonder. So when you are sharing the clear transformation in your storytelling approach, I want you to think about what actually changed. And I don't mean like the vague stuff. We kind of already talked about that in question number 1, like I built the business or I found balance. I mean specific transformation. I'll give you an example, and this is true for me and my story and what I often share. I wouldn't say I get to work from home. There's nothing juicy there. There's nothing emotional, but I could say, now I work from my kitchen counter while my son does his schoolwork next to me, and I never have to miss any of those moments. Do you see the difference? One is a concept, the other is a picture. And this is the fundamental truth of all important storytelling, is that you paint a picture. Because people buy the picture, they buy the transformation, and they need to see the specific life that is possible for them if they follow what it is you are ultimately teaching them. So when you are analyzing this piece of content, I want you to really focus in on the transformation. Are you being very descriptive with the details on what your life is like now? I often talk about this as the really strong underlying benefit and messaging. It's one thing, again, to say, I will help you achieve financial freedom. It's another thing, and going to increase your conversions if you can really describe what that is like. Paying off student loan, being able to buy their first house, save for their kids' college, travel through Europe, whatever that is for your ideal customer, what it is that they desire. Because a vague transformation will give you vague results when it comes to asking for the sale. The other piece of this that a lot of people don't talk about is that when you are really specific and descriptive with the outcome, it adds a level of urgency that is authentic. So you don't need timers. You don't need to discount all of your stuff because you are painting such a vivid picture of what's possible that they need it right now. And that creates a really authentic urgency within your ideal customer. Question number 4, and perhaps my favorite, could anyone in your industry tell this story? Yeah, this one got the eyebrow raise. I know that this one is tough, but it is so important. If you swapped your name for another entrepreneur in your space and the story still worked, it's too generic. And this is where a lot of people get stuck, especially if they are using AI to help them write their stories. Because AI is going to pull from everyone else's story, and so it's going to sound like everyone else. And oftentimes, even when I am utilizing an AI tool like ChatGPT or Claude AI, I am going in there and I am rewriting it, honestly, to make the story authentically mine. So I might feed it an idea of a story and it will spit something out that, again, anybody in my industry could pretty much tell. So it is my job to go in there and make that story only work for me, only work for my business. And that's where the details come into play. It's about showcasing your unique perspective, your specific journey, the weird little details that only you would notice. That's what makes it irreplaceable. And that's what really allows someone to see the consistency in your brand and the consistency in your messaging, to be able to read something and know, oh, Michelle Knight from Brand Mary wrote this. It's not a story about how you finally left your corporate job. It's a story about the moment you knew, the conversation you had, the feeling in your body that this was the right time. It's not, I built a 6-figure business. It's how you did it differently. Look at your story. Is there something in there that is uniquely yours? Or could anyone tell this exact same story? And I get it. A lot of us have shared experiences. And it truly is how you tell the story and how descriptive you are and about the picture that you paint. That is the difference. If it's too generic, you're blending in, and blending in does not convert. So figure out if you need to add more of your voice, if you need to add more specific details, if you need to integrate your perspective. Any of those things will help your story be uniquely yours. And question number 5, and this is a trap that a lot of entrepreneurs fall into when it comes to storytelling, because storytelling can be such a strong trust builder. But remember, we are all about strategic storytelling, conversion storytelling. We want the sale. We are business owners. And so does this story lead somewhere, or does it just inspire? Now, inspiration can be a goal of your content. Absolutely. Maybe once a week, you want to have an inspirational storytelling type of post. But I'm actually going to challenge you to take it a step further. Something can be inspirational and still have an ask. Something can be inspirational and still say, let me know in the comments, or check out my free guide, or comment this word to find out about this product. We are business owners, so we can combine the two pieces. However, I do understand that sometimes you're like, I just want to share this and I want it to be inspirational. Just make sure you have a balance and not every story that you share is inspo, because this is what separates the hobbyist from the business owners. Inspiration without direction leaves people feeling really, really good, but not knowing exactly what to do. They give you a like, they give you a save, and then they just move on their way. And this is the type of content that gets people to act. So why wouldn't you give them the next step? You're running a business. Your story should contribute to the bigger ecosystem that includes your products and your services. Again, I'm not saying every post needs to be a hard sell. Please don't take this the wrong way. Don't clip my video. I'm saying your story should naturally point them to the next step. Because if someone is so invested in your story, they've read the whole thing, they've listened to the whole thing, why not offer up the opportunity to take it further with you and your brand? They're obviously feeling something. They stuck around, didn't they? It's telling the story, it's being inspirational, but it's also saying here's what's possible and here's where you can start. If you're telling a transformation story, a great next step might be, want to experience this transformation? Here's what helped me do it. If you're telling a struggle story with a lesson, a natural next step might be, this is the program that helped me X, Y, and Z. Look at your content. Does it lead them somewhere? Does it invite people to take the next step in working with you? Is it a natural shift? Does the story back up and effortlessly lead to the ask? If your stories aren't pointing to your specific products or services naturally, that's why you're getting the engagement and not the sales. So make a note if this is something that you need to work on. Okay, you've gone through all 5 questions. How did your content do? My guess is maybe 1 or 2 you are nailing, maybe 3, but there are probably some areas that you need to work on. Remember, the key takeaways are all about connection. It's about showing the struggle, showing the transformation, being specific and descriptive and uniquely yours. And ultimately, your stories should lead somewhere. Use them as your greatest marketing asset because I promise you that is exactly what they are. Now that you know what's wrong, you can fix it. That's what the audit is all about. Go back to the specific content, rewrite it, share it again. Make these notes and share a very similar video or podcast with these edits and see how it does. And then use this as a framework moving forward. A huge part of storytelling that I have found my clients struggle with is understanding which stories to share. Oftentimes we will share the same stories over and over again, and that's okay. Those are called core stories. But there are so many other types of stories that you could be sharing online. This is the art of digital storytelling and how you will never run out of content ideas ever again. And so I wanted to make it really easy for the people in my community, the people who I know value storytelling and want to integrate more storytelling content into their overall marketing strategy. And so I created the Storytelling Content Super Bundle that literally has over 2,900 prompts, templates, hook statements, podcast titles that you can use to start sharing continuous and effective stories in your marketing. Why not challenge yourself to 30 days of storytelling content? Why not see how following this framework that I shared with you not only gets you engagement, but also conversions? The best part is this prompt library can work for social media, live videos, pre-recorded videos, email marketing. I really took into consideration that we are not all just marketing on social media. And so you can use this prompt library to support you in telling better stories online. The best part is that it's only $27, and I have included a link below so that you can go ahead and grab that, because if you're watching this video, then that tells me that you are serious about telling stories strategically, and this bundle is going to set you up for massive success. It's going to solve the problem of I don't know what stories to share and allow you to show up confidently online. But whether you grab the bundle or not, I want you to do this audit. And I want you to think of this as a framework or a checklist for creating your content moving forward. Because once you see it, you can't unsee it. And that awareness alone will change how you create content moving forward. Thank you so much for joining me in another video. My coffee is now getting cold. Let me know in the comments below if any of these questions really sparked a aha moment for you. If there's any type of storytelling videos that you would love to see. I'm currently planning out my 2026 content strategy. And of course, grab that storytelling bundle because you don't have to do this alone. I have been doing this and fine-tuning this strategy and teaching this type of storytelling work to entrepreneurs for 10 years now. I've done the hard work for you so that you can just jump in, start sharing these authentic, genuine stories with your audience and create more connection and conversions. I'm going to be back with another video next week. If you are not already subscribed, take the opportunity to do that now. Happy storytelling, my friend.